Her fingers trembled as she counted the coins in her hand. 1, 2, 3, barely enough for a small loaf of bread. The bakery smelled of warmth and sweetness, but all she could afford was the cheapest bread for her daughter waiting at home, hungry. She whispered a prayer under her breath, wishing life could be kinder, not knowing that in that very moment, someone powerful was watching, someone who would change her life forever. And if you stay with me until the end, you'll see why sometimes the smallest act of kindness can open the biggest doors. If this story touches your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more inspiring stories that remind us, hope is never too far away. Elena had once dreamed of becoming a teacher, of standing in front of a classroom with chalk in her hand and joy in her heart. But life rarely went the way she planned. When her husband walked out and never returned, she was left alone with a baby girl in her arms. The rent swallowed most of her earnings from cleaning houses, bills piled up, and food became a luxury instead of a certainty. Every day was a battle, but she fought silently, because her daughter, Mia, deserved at least a smile, even if her mother's soul was breaking inside. That evening, Elena walked into the small bakery around the corner. She had collected coins from the couch cushions and from the bottom of her old purse just to buy bread. Mia had asked if maybe they could have something sweet too, but Elena knew it was impossible. Her eyes watered when she looked at the cakes lined in the glass display, bright strawberries, chocolate layers, golden crusts. They looked like celebrations, but to her, they were reminders of what she couldn't give. Behind her in line, a man in a sharp suit watched quietly. His name was Adrian Cole, a CEO known for building one of the largest companies in the city. People knew him as ruthless in business, but what they didn't know was that he carried an emptiness no amount of wealth could fill. His wife had passed away years ago, and though he had money, he had no family warmth left in his home. That night, tired from meetings, he had stopped at the bakery simply to grab coffee and clear his mind. He didn't expect to witness something that would tug at his heart, that he noticed how Elena's shoulders drooped when the cashier told her the price. She slid her coins across the counter, embarrassed, whispering an apology for being short a few cents. The cashier hesitated, but before the awkward silence stretched, Adrian's deep voice cut through the air. "Get more," he said firmly. "I'll pay for everything." Elena froze, her cheeks burning. "Sir, I can't," she began, but he shook his head. "You can," Adrian replied, nodding at the shelves. "Take what you need. Bread, milk, even something sweet for your child. I'll cover it." Tears stung her eyes before she could stop them. No one had spoken to her like that in years, not with kindness, not without judgment. She picked up a small cake, almost apologetically, and more bread than she had dared to before. Adrian paid without flinching, as though it was nothing, but to Elena, it was everything. When she turned to thank him, she saw not just a wealthy man but someone carrying his own kind of sorrow in his eyes. I don't know how to thank you," she whispered. "Just promise me one thing," Adrian said softly. "That you won't give up." That night, Elena carried food home with shaking hands. Mia's eyes lit up when she saw the cake, and the little girl hugged her mother tightly. "You're the best, Mommy," she said, with no idea how hard her mother had fought for that moment. But the story didn't end there. A week later, Elena nervously walked into an office building for a job interview. She had applied for a receptionist position at a company she never imagined would even call her back. The building was towering, intimidating, and as she clutched her resume, she tried to calm her racing heart. When the door to the interview room opened, her breath caught in her throat. Sitting at the head of the table was Adrian Cole, the man from the bakery. Their eyes met, both surprised. He smiled faintly. "We meet again." Elena felt her knees weaken, but somehow, she managed to sit down. Adrian listened as she spoke about her struggles, her determination, and her willingness to work hard for her daughter's future. She expected pity in his eyes, but instead she found respect. "You've already proven yourself," Adrian said after a pause. It takes strength to stand when life keeps pushing you down. That's the kind of person I want on my team. From that day, Elena's life began to change. She got the job. Slowly, she built stability for Mia. With Adrian's guidance, she even started night classes to finish her teaching degree. And though their connection started with a loaf of bread, it grew into something deeper, a bond built on shared pain and newfound hope. Adrian, who once thought his heart had no room left for family, found himself drawn into their small world. He became a father figure to Mia, and Elena discovered that sometimes, the people you least expect can become the pillars you've been praying for. Years later, Elena often told her daughter that everything changed the day a stranger said, "Get more. I'll pay for everything." It wasn't just about food, it was about faith being restored, about life proving that even in the darkest chapters, light can appear where you least expect it. So if you're watching this right now, remember, kindness costs little, but its ripple can last forever. Don't lose hope in your struggles, because your miracle might be closer than you think. And if this story